All righty. Let's see if we are live. Cool. We are live. This week, I am launching the mentorship program. I've had a lot of people who were talking about it, and there's going to be 4 different levels. There will be a $199.99 level. There'll be a $500 level. There'll be a $1,500 level, and there'll be a $5,000 level. I figure most people are going to get into the $199 level. And at that point, we will communicate, but we will communicate via email. You got a question, you get 4 questions per week. Because one of the things that I was thinking about was putting this together is talking to people. A lot of y'all, and I will say that there are many of y'all who understand that I'm busy and I don't have time for chit chat, so I appreciate that. But some of y'all just want to talk, and it's like, hey, man, it's free. It ain't free. So at the $500 level, that's when you hop on the phone. But this will be a way to get your questions answered and for you to get some mentorship. One of the things that I'm doing, because I'm going to put together a whole new platform. Excuse me. And it's kind of crazy because I'm trying to get the domain name to render, and that's being a little difficult, but this is where we're going to be having the mentorship. And I got a lot of work to do this week, but it's the business incubator. That's what we're doing here. We're incubating businesses. And I think one of the biggest issues is many of you don't know your why. Because if your why isn't big enough, why am I starting a business? You're just not going to start one. There's folks who've been watching the channel for years and like, yeah, it sounds good, but I'm comfortable doing what I'm doing. I'm comfortable being in this lane until that lane becomes uncomfortable, and that's when you jump. So I'm going to do some talks about your why. There will be new classes. I'm doing a lot of different stuff right now. Facebook ads, about to get into real estate investing, and I will talk about that in depth with the people and part of the mentorship program. Like, I had someone ask this question today. I met with 2 CPAs. They couldn't confirm that if you pay cash for a house, you don't have to pay taxes on the revenue. All right, let's do this business lesson 101. If I invest $2 million in this business and I start making money, until I make that $2 million back, I don't pay any taxes on that money because I'm still in the hole. I haven't made any money. I spent money. So if you go out and you pay cash for a house and you start renting it out and you keep your records, you have your proper LLC, you have everything documented, you have that from your holding company, you transferred funds to the operating company to set up the business, you ain't gonna have no problems. And this is something else we're gonna talk about. Doing stuff the right way. I have talked about holding companies and operating companies, and there are many of you who just don't get this. The holding company does not do business with anybody. It don't pay no bills. It does nothing. And I think that some people get so paralyzed with fear that they just kind of go off on some craziness. But we're going to talk about proper procedures, how to set stuff up, and how to get your business really going. Because one of the things that's happening is we have a lot of people who are scared. Like people like, hey, Glendon, is this a good business to go in? I don't know if that's a good business to go in for you because I don't know you. And that's like people seeking permission, or they're scared that they don't know. I don't know what that is, but we're not going to have that type of stuff going on. We're going to have, trainings about what is it to be a business owner? Why do you start your business? Why you are here killing dragons? So we're going to have mentoring, Q&A, special webinars. I'm still putting that together. I'm going to have live lectures, deep dives in business. We're going to talk about marketing. We're going to talk about sales, Facebook ads, real estate, business development. There's going to be a lot of stuff in this mentorship, because one of the cool things about me starting on these new projects is I could take y'all from the beginning. Like when I purchased my first property, I could like take you behind the scenes and, I could talk about stuff. Your boy Rich, the Graham. One of the things is I got a lot going on and I got to streamline the process. During this holiday weekend, I didn't really do nothing. I just chilled because I had to rest up. But we're going to talk about, these ads and stuff. And we're going to talk about the reality of starting a business. Because, I forget who it was, but they were talking about, hey, what do you got that I can start making money just like that? When I started this YouTube channel, I worked on it full time for months without a penny. And if you're going to try to get into a business with this, because you can get into a hustle and make some quick money. But if you're trying to start a business that pays you money long term, and you want to get some more business knowledge, and this is something else too. The business knowledge benefits you greatly when you're out there executing, when you're out there making moves, when you're out there doing business stuff. Because some of y'all just collecting all this knowledge, but you're not executing. And that's not really good. So you're going to have to start executing. I'm going to really be pushing, and there's going to be all kinds of stuff that's going to go into this mentorship. Like I said, there's 4 levels. Matter of fact, I think I can get in there. Yeah, I can. About putting websites together, because that's something I've done a lot of recently, and I never really got in that process, because when you use a website like Thinkific, they have this procedure where you can add your own domain name, which I'm going through, and It's kind of crazy. Black Caesar, does the same rules apply if I purchase a couple of vehicles for a logistics company? I wouldn't pay tax on those vehicles until I'm out of debt. Well, once again, those are vehicles, and the vehicles are not the complete business. Like if I buy a piece of real estate and I put a renter in there and I use money that taxes have already been paid on until I recoup my investment, I'm not making a profit. You only pay taxes on profit. So the whole thing with the logistics trucks, that's a little different because there's going to be other parts of your business making money. So that's going to be a very different thing. I will talk about how I'm going to set up the real estate. I'm thinking about doing some Airbnb. I'm kind of like, I did some research and I see a lot of stuff for $99, and I see like some super hosts that are doing like $200. But at $99 a month, that's just like maybe if I can get good rentals, if I can get good consistent rent, and then also part of that is every time someone leaves, you got to bring in a cleaner. So I don't really know how that's going to work out until I get into it. And first, I got to secure the property. First, I got to ask people, if it's a standing house, I don't have to, but I've been looking at some condos, and a lot of these places have a lot of rules and regulations because first thing I'm like, hey, can I use this as a rental or Airbnb? And they say, no, I ain't buying it. So this is one of the things that you have to look into. So Black Caesar, there's other parts of that business that make money. So you would not be able to pull that. Because see, with the real estate, I've created a separate company. It's going to be a company apart from Hustlers Kung Fu. So we got all that going on. And then, I will be running some more ads. I didn't run any ads because it was, because I'm not going to be doing videos on the weekends because it's football season. And typically, a lot of folks don't tune in. So I'm just going to probably be doing videos Monday through Friday. And it's always interesting how when I have these serious topics, I think the title had a lot to do with it. So I'm going to, and also there's something else too. With real estate, I got to be careful because I can't divert too much of my time because you could spend a lot of time on real estate researching, looking up stuff, and I can't like lose focus of my main business. So there would be a lot of chats and talks about this. Because, one of the things is I would love to answer everyone's question, but a lot of people got those permission type questions. Should I do this? Should I do that? I don't know. And it's incumbent upon you to research that business as much as you can. And then you got to test it because like the whole deal with living in a high rise. I don't know how that would work, but one of the things I did was I stayed in the Airbnb that was in the high rise, and it was nice, but I like having a house. So it's just like a temporary thing for me. Money Mike, for Airbnb, you charge the guest a cleaning fee. Yeah, but you still have to hire the cleaners. See, this is one of the things I'm looking like. If it's a high turnover property, getting a lot of rentals, I don't know how that's going to work. If people go hard for their own businesses like they root for them football games, then we would all be millionaires. Yeah, because I like the football. So I will be watching Saturday and I'll be watching Sunday. And I'm going to get as much stuff done Monday through Friday as I possibly can. But I'm going to pull a trigger on my first rental property pretty soon. It may be a house. And this is something else too. I haven't looked at the low end real estate market for many ages, but it's very hard to find a decent inhabitable house that's not in the hood for 150K. If I want to go way out, Jonesboro, Marietta, something like that, I could probably find some. But in the city of Atlanta, if it's 150 to 180, it's in the hood. There was this one house that it looks like a disaster. It's an older house. Matter of fact, I think I could show y'all if I'm logged in. I mean, this house it's trash, man. It is like trash. Oh, okay. And he wants $130,000 for this. Begin to see why certain people do certain things. Because it's very interesting. Oh, a cleaning lady? You can get 2 or 3 for that money in St. Louis. Be real, he'll never get 130. Well, so we will see. I mean, that is the garbage that I am seeing out there. Tell him ARV 50K. King Nick, in the last 5 years, I've personally known of a ton of California, New York, and Midwest transplants moving over to Atlanta. As a result, the cost of living has died. Yeah, man. I mean, it's like, because I haven't looked at that market. I didn't know what that market looked like because I've been doing some research, and a good rental market is a working class neighborhood. So that was the like 150 to 250. Agree, but what I've learned to slow down the traffic, we charge more per night, and we have to get better quality, I guess. Not a cleaning lady. She ran out Airbnb, and she's making a lot doing it. Well, once again, I've done my research, and once again, I got more research to do. But this is something that this is going to be. I'm definitely getting into it, and there is still this conversation about paying cash. People are drunk on credit. They can't envision doing something under their own power. It is crazy. And like Airbnb, I did some numbers. If I can rent out this place, because where I'm looking at buying, You get places are going for $45. This is a shared room in someone's house. Up to 99 for the whole independent place. And 99, 20 days. It's 2,000 a month. I don't know what Airbnb's part of that is. Hey, are you still doing the pay installment program? What's the pay installment? I don't know what that is, man. Communicate that a little bit better. And what I'm going to do is everyone that signs up for the mentorship, you will get H undergrad. You know, I'm probably not going to, you're probably never going to see that. I know people who love Atlanta Falcons who do the tailgating and the barbecues and stuff. I've been to a few. What I'm going to do is be all about this Wi-Fi bread. That's where my strength is. I'm going to keep working on that. But, you know, we'll be talking about this week. Yep, Jay Mason, you can sign up below. That's still going on. So yeah, you can do that. Because you do the new thing, which is $199, you will get the mentorship program, which means you get to ask 4 questions per week via email. So we will see how that will go. Because I'm doing it by email because when people have to type stuff out, they don't get as wordy as they do when they like, hey, on the phone. Hey man, you know, I was at the post office this morning. No, they don't do that. So you will get the options of, because you know, there's a lot of stuff I want to bring to the table with this mentorship program. And one of the things that I want to do is give people a real education and get people really started on their businesses. Because you have so many people who don't take this as seriously as they should. Because we're in a recession right now, and it's going to get worse. And this is one of the reasons that I'm getting into real estate, because every recession, guess what? Those rents still be paid. People still got to have some place to live. And from what I've seen, rents don't go down because it's a recession. They may not go up as fast, but they don't go down. So one thing I was looking at, I can rent it out for $1,300 a month for a 2-bedroom. And I kind of wanted to do like 2,000. But you know, once I pull the trigger on my first property and then get that rolling, then I will get a little seasoned. Then I will get into it. And you know, with the Facebook marketing, this is something that happened. I don't know if this is normal. All right, there we go. So what I was saying was I spent about $1,400 to build this Facebook page, and I got 13,000 likes. And I get really good reach on this page. When I post good stuff, I get really good reach because it's amazing. So I'm learning how to use Facebook all over again, and I will be talking about that because essentially I've popped up on someone's radar, and I don't know if it's a real thing or not. We will see. But they were talking about paying me $2,500 per week to post, articles that they want me to post on my page. And I have a friend who is heavy on the Facebook side, and she does $1 million a year from her Facebook page. So it's very interesting. So, I'm going to be talking about this. Because essentially, once I get through building out this page, I'm going to run over to Hustlers Kung Fu and do the same thing. Because I'm trying to get this Wi-Fi bread, man. And if that actually matriculates at some point, like I get the page to 20,000 likes and then people are paying me $2,000 or $3,000 a month to post, that's a win. And I've heard about this kind of stuff, but I've never been the benefit, I've never benefited from it. So we will see how this goes. And that's something else I'll be talking about. Because, I haven't really talked about these type of things before. Oh, you picked up a couple of properties at auction? Okay. Miko Travis, normally you rent 2 to 3 days minimum. Well, we will see. We will see how that goes. Because once I get it, I'm gonna figure out what's the maximum way to get the cash flow. Because I know buying it is very important where I buy it. And I've been looking at these places in Buckhead, and I got to speak to a real estate agent and like, hey, can you have renters? I'm looking at buying this as an investment property. Have you heard about Meet Kevin? Yeah, he's a little weird for my taste. He's just out here doing this stuff, getting sued by Grant Cardone. I don't know what his deal is. But we're going to get into the Facebook thing a little bit more. We're going to get into the YouTube thing a little bit more. We're going to get into all of these things that I do that I really don't talk about on a deeper level. Because that blew my mind that someone would pay me to post on my page. But then again, it's kind of like an Instagram page. If you get an Instagram page with enough likes, people will pay you to post stuff on there. So we will see. Because like I said, I'm going to keep going until I get to 20,000 likes on that page. And we're probably talking about $2,500, which, I've spent more money on that on my YouTube channel just messing around. I have an artist that I used to manage that's been doing a talk show on FB. I just started talking to him about monetization. Erica, met him Forex, just young, nervous energy. He's 26. He's squirrely as hell, man. Because he's not for me. He's not for me. I like Grant. A lot of folks have trying to go on after Grant, but we're going to get into mentoring, and we're going to get into some stuff that I think you guys need, because I've been thinking about this. How do you get people to get started? That fear, because I don't know what that fear is like. Whatever fear that used to reside in my body, it's been gone for 2 decades. Because I'm like, let's try it. Is it going to work? We're going to find out. So I'm always doing stuff and putting myself out there. But there are people who have good ideas and they can do so much more than they're doing, and they're just scared. They're just really, really scared. And like right now, what's up, Erica? I was checking out that book you keep recommending, Beyond Average or something. I got it pulled up on the page. He wrote another book that I got. It's very interesting because you can't be average in America anymore and make it. You used to be able to coast, used to be able to just kick it off in low gear and go ahead and meet a woman, get married, buy a house, have 2.5 kids, and you could do all that. That ain't happening no more. You can't do that in low gear anymore. Grant is 61 years old and ripped. That hormone replacement therapy ain't no joke. So one of the things that I look at, like, diving into real estate, I see why people are in other markets. I see why people go like Max Maxwell. I see why he's in the Winston-Salem area, because you can pick up these $40,000 deals. In Atlanta, I mean, I have seen something like akin to crack houses. They want 80K for this stuff. And it's you can't live in it. So it is funny. But once again, you got to get into research, because I'll be talking about the Atlanta real estate market, and we will see how we're going to go with this, because I mean, like, there is a program out there this guy wrote where you can rent places and Airbnb them, and if you can keystone, which is double your money, so the rent's $1,500, but you make $1,500 in profit above and beyond the rent, and if you keep your costs down, like, because one of the things I'm thinking about doing is hiring an interior designer, because this is one thing I have noticed about Airbnb. When it's got some swank to it, they get more money. That swank is worth every penny. I've seen tiny houses. I've seen colorful houses. I've seen really different novelties and themes. They get more money. Yeah, Atlanta and Nashville got shacks going for 80K. I mean, it's ridiculous. And, like, this ain't like Detroit, where you can go pick up a property for 20K, put 20, 30K into it and rent it out. It ain't like that. Not here. Meet Kevin has a video. There's no recession. That boy on crack. We're in the middle of a recession right now. Yeah, because I looked at that, because I can pretty much get the furniture for the Airbnb off the Facebook Marketplace. So we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff in this mentorship. We're going to be talking about personal power. We're going to be talking about the 5 checking account blueprint. I keep telling people to get that course before you start making more money. I've been listening to a lot of Dave Ramsey, and people call in there, and he has people who are really poor, but he has a lot of people making 100K, 80K, 90K, 200K. And that tells me that these folks are not living the way that they want to. Oh, Erica, I've noticed this because there's a one high rise that's going for $180 a night, stays booked, but it's very swank. It's very well decorated. It's very color coordinated. I mean, it's very cozy. What about Savannah, the Carolina? Well, once again, I still got to get my hands about this being a landlord thing. And initially, I'm just going to pay the money and get something local so I can manage it, because I'm going to be doing the management for the first 5 properties. And after I get 5, I'm going to establish a management company and hire people to, manage that stuff. And there's this one property I'm looking at. It's a loft, but it's walking distance to the stadium, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So, and it's got this cool rooftop lounge type deal. Average person on Dave Ramsey program pays off dead in 18 months, no matter the size, its focus. Oh yeah, they be getting rid of everything. Black Caesar. The fear looks like this. Most people have someone else doing their deductions, like taxes. They think it's too many hats to wear for one person. I don't really know what the fear is, because you have a lot of people who are capable of doing this, but they just will not. They just will not do it. They just will not get on to this thing. And I'm going to dive into the psychology, because once you figure out your why, there ain't no stopping you. I ain't going back to the board nows. That ain't happening. I'm never going back. This is one of the reasons I do everything I do. It's like, I ain't going back. Bump that. So we're going to get off into a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about, stuff like I do that I never talk about it. Every time PayPal's like, hey, you can get this loan, I just go ahead and take it, because that defrays my taxable income by a lot. I mean, I may try to push to get my PayPal size sales up where I can get that $500K loan and take that and buy real estate. So, because I'm very, very much about the real estate, I'm very much about the marketing, I'm very much about the Facebook, because essentially the more stuff you have going on, the better off you will be. Goonies girls. I manage my own rental properties, condos, townhouses, never a dull moment. Oh, on that, I met somebody who has 4 rental properties, and she got all her mortgages from a conventional bank. And she's like, they just keep giving them to me. It's like, she said she could probably get 4 or 5 more. But like, to Goonies girls, she said that these 4 rentals keep her hopping. So we will see what that's like. I hear that, never going back to the basement rooms of the projects. No way. No, once you escape and you understand there's a better life, you just can't go back to that. And, we're going to talk about building wealth, because real estate is a good way to do it if you're not trying to get rich overnight. Because I know someone that's part of an investment club, and they just they closed on their first property come Monday, and they've been told that they're going to have to, reinvest profits for 2 to 4 years before they can start taking money out to get the money to a certain level. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, because it's J.G. Whitworth. It's my money. I want it now. And I listened to the folks on Dave Ramsey, and I'm like, how the hell Do you amass $190,000 worth of debt on the income of 50K? The math just doesn't work out. And I hear this stuff every day because I listen to him and I listen to some other people. And it's just very interesting to hear what type of financial situation that these people have gotten themselves into. The stuff that Coach G is teaching, is promoting, and doing has to override the traditional indoctrination of getting a job and working for an employer. Man, I don't know, man, because people still acting like that's the best thing. I still have that marketing package. We just secured 50% of the television slots on black television. Good Lord. So we will see. We will see how that goes. But, I'm just talking about this, bouncing stuff off the head. I made a decision. Next year, I'm getting rid of this place, and I'm going to rent some other place because this is, from Grant Cardone. I'll own what I can rent and make money off of, and whatever I lay my head, I'll just rent that. Some of the chocolate and coffee farms. It was 24 to 36 months. 36 months is a long time, man. That's a long, long time. But, you see these, America is so drunk on credit that there's a conversation that's going on in this group where people are bashing the folks who pay cash for cars. It's like, that's stupid. You should never pay cash for a car. Dealer incentives. And here's the thing. Even at 3.9% interest, that's more money than cash. Still more money than cash. So I just look at this because they keep going on and on and on about, shouldn't pay cash for cars. And I've been paying cash for cars for years. And I'm going to tell you, it is a peace of mind knowing that, what's in that garage, come hell or high water, ain't nobody coming to snatch them. No one's coming to get my stuff. But I'm getting rid of this place. I don't know what I'm going to get. I'm staying in the neighborhood. So I'm working on downsizing some stuff. To get a payout. A payout from whom? So we will see how this goes. We will see Grant Cardone must be following the old John D. Rockefeller blueprint, which is to own nothing but control everything through a business or multiple businesses. Grant owns some stuff. He owns that business. He owns that building. Well, he has an LLC that owns that building that he has his office in. His company owns that jet. He's got a lot of stuff going on. But, for me, it doesn't really matter, eventually because right now all my firepower is going towards rental real estate. After 5 or 6 properties, I might buy something for myself. But, what I'm looking at, I get 5 properties. That's going to be $7,000 to $10,000 a month passive income. And that's what I'm looking to building up. Recession is here. Properties in my town being put on the market, especially from large portfolios. That's right, Marvin. Chocolate and coffee farms payout dividend is 24 to 36 months. I know nothing of that. But what I am working on is mastering this Facebook ad thing, because I haven't done any ads since last week, because here, creating Facebook ads is very time intensive, because you got to do your research, you got to create the content, then you got to put it up, then you got to hope it gets approved. Goonies Girls, just curious, what books have you read about real estate? I've read 0 books about real estate. I've watched a ton of videos, and I've been tracking the Atlanta market, the high-end market, for a long time. And this is why it's just surprised me that, you got some guy over in the West End with a dump, a disaster, and he wants $130,000 for this, and he said no wholesalers. It was funny. No, I haven't read any books on real estate. I've just crunched a lot of numbers, because I know I get a paid off property and I put a renter in there. That's instant cash flow. And I mean, 3 rentals for the average person is life changing. Let's say you get, $500,000 worth of real estate that generates about $4,500 per month. That's more money than the average salary in America. I'm just saying different investments have long turnaround time. Okay. Yeah, because I'm investing in my business and I'm investing in real estate. I was in the stock market and I was putting so much money in here, and that's why my portfolio was growing, but I wasn't getting the gains. It's just I was putting a lot of money in. I was like, this ain't really working. I'm hustling backwards. And we will talk about weathering the recession, because I'm going to say it once again. You got to get out of debt. If you are debt free when this recession hits, you're going to be in a pretty good position. Yeah, I run the numbers on the properties, because I'm looking at a few condos, and I got to call a real estate agent and find out, can you have rentals? Because a lot of condos, they put a cap on the number of rentals you can have. So that will drastically change my viewpoint on these places. If you own 3 homes, you're in the 1% of America. Pretty much, unless you own just some crack houses. 3 homes at 150, that's $450,000, $500,000 of net worth. And you got these assets. I mean, $4,500 a month coming in, that fends off a lot of wolves. That makes the ends meet for the average person. Goonies Girl, do you have a solo 401k or self-directed IRA to invest in real estate? Neither. My situation is beyond IRAs and Roth. That stuff doesn't work for me. What I have to do, this is why I'm getting into real estate. I have to create my own retirement investment vehicle, because you can only put $5,500, $5,000 unless you get a company match. That ain't gonna cut it for me. And then you could do a SEP IRA, which you can put 25% of your earnings in, which is more durable but I'm just like gonna build another business. This real estate business is gonna be apart from my regular business, and I'm gonna keep both of them going because I get 2 to 3 houses a year. I do that for 10 years. That's 20 something to almost 30 houses. I'll be good. Yeah, the HOAs, that's another thing I got to worry about. Ebony White, if your business credit is good, does it really matter how well you? Yes, it matters. If you got good personal credit, you can get easy business credit. Yeah, it matters. You should be working on that. Definitely matters. Goonies Girl solo 401k allows you to put up to 50,000, I believe. I'm probably going to spend 150 to 200k on my first rental property. And see that those low limits, man, they just don't work for me. I'm going to buy a single family to begin with, and then I may get into multifamily. I'm going to stick with my plan. I've always wanted to own several houses, so I'm going to do that. Multifamily will come later because my goal is to get 10 houses, and then change the tactics. Because, I've been looking at a lot of stuff. Like today in this neighborhood, this $12,000 house came up for rent. And I go ahead to the tax records and find out a basketball player, NBA player owns this house. It was very interesting. Because, I've looked at so much high-end property. I can tell because these guys in the NBA and the NFL, they make a lot of money, but they don't have taste and they don't have enough sense to go out and hire an interior decorator. So when you see their houses, because the first clue is this cheap black art. When I start seeing that, I'm like, oh, this is a black person with no taste, no size and proportion. It's very interesting. I wonder if one of Grant's companies owns the place. I wouldn't be surprised. Black Caesars are the way to it's separate. Your business credit and your personal credit are separate. Unless your business credit goes bad, then they go put that on your personal credit report. It's already separate. So that is one of the deals. And we will be talking, because one of the reasons I don't like talking about business credit is that people get caught up in funding, yet they don't have the critical business skills to turn those dollars into more dollars. And that's a problem. No, I won't be buying in this neighborhood. 250. The teardowns, the ranch houses that they're going to tear down, those are going for 400,000. So it won't be in this neighborhood. I can get in this neighborhood on a decent rental property at about 450 that I can rent, I can buy and move someone in there. So 250, because I'm looking at rentability. I'm looking at hot areas because if I get in a hot area, I'm not going to have any problems renting this stuff out. And that's the key. That's the key. Like I heard someone who has properties in Macon, but they don't make as much. But I hear the people rent longer. Like you get a renter down there, they may be with you 4, 5, 6 years. But yeah, 250 does nothing in this neighborhood. The entry point is the 450. And that would be a townhouse because there would not be a single family. Single family houses, 550. And yeah, that's Those are the entry points for this neighborhood. And, look at so many things that are going on because, like I said, try to do stuff. Try to put stuff out. Try to expand what you're doing because I'm telling you, it's amazing what's going on right now. Yeah, we got a recession. Yes, we have a crazy president, but the opportunities are sick for those who are willing to go out and kill a few dragons. Eric Williams, if separate, but banks are looking for red flags. Unless business is making $8,000 or more a month, you're going to need some shiny personal credit. That's the crunch already starting because they were throwing the credit cards at people. Like Apple's new credit card, they was giving that to people with lower credit scores in the beginning because they just wanted more people on there. Goonies girl, good thing you're not in California. Rent control is out of control. So happy that I moved to Houston. I'm not looking at Midtown. I'm looking at Buckhead, Brookhaven. Because, see, I already know those areas, and I know I can be able to rent those places out very fast. Because there are people who just, they will kill to live in Buckhead. Now, Midtown has become shiny because, like, downtown Atlanta, ain't really nothing there. California's an out of control unicorn at this point. And this is something else too, like, meet Kevin and all these other people out in California. Their rental properties are 6, 7, 800,000. So they get 2 properties. They're millionaires off 2 properties because it's California. I've looked at Winston. I hear Nashville is out of control. Like Charlotte could be a potential market because you got to buy stuff that people can afford. That's the key. And when you start getting up to, like here, $3,000 and $4,000 rent, $12,000, that'll fly here, but that may not fly somewhere else. So you got to look at, because I'm like, I've been watching a lot of Maxwell videos, and I understand exactly why he's in Winston. I totally get it because they be getting properties for $20,000, $40,000. They ain't happening in Atlanta. And even like the people that he brought on his show that are from Atlanta, a lot of them buy properties outside of Atlanta because Atlanta is so competitive. Atlanta is a rough customer. And fortunately, I was going to come off with the high end, but I'm going to come off because, I got to get my feet wet as a landlord. Because this girl I met, she has 4 rental properties. They keep her busy. And I'm sitting there like, okay, we got to look at this. We got to look at this whole thing. So once I actually do it, and I'm looking at the Airbnb thing because I can rent a certain space and let them landlord know that, hey, I'm using this for Airbnb and make money. Because there's this thing called Airbnb DNA, which is very interesting, which will tell you potentially how much money your property can make wherever it is. You can get a lot of upscale property here in New York at the tax lien auction. The houses are sold to the highest and lowest bidders. Yeah, a lot of those auctions, man, are kind of squirrely. Eric Williams, that's my whole point. They only have 2 to 6 rentals in California, and they act like they're ballers. The real baller is someone who owns 30, 40 properties in California, and they keep a low profile because they will have people out to get them. Well, once again, with the tiny house movement, the van life movement, people are not buying these big bodacious houses, even if they have the money. That's a big trend because a lot of these houses on golf courses and stuff, the baby boomers built, these millennials, even if they don't want those houses. They're too big. So it's going to be funny. And California real estate, Houston real estate, all of these markets are so different. And who knows? I may move because typically I don't want to hire a property management company and give up 20%. Not in the beginning. I don't want to do that. And essentially form my own property management company. Back in my day, a tiny house was called an apartment. Ellenwood is a good rental market as well. Ellenwood, Stockbridge, Jonesboro, Riverdale. If I were to look over there, I could probably find some of these cheaper houses. But also, I know if I stick where I know that people have the incomes and the jobs to pay the rent that I want. Proximity to the east side. Could be. So, this is my real estate journey because I'll be documenting it, this whole thing. So we will see. And I got to start going to some real estate meetups because essentially one of the things I like about the wholesalers is they can get properties cheap, but all these properties need to be rehabbed. And that's something that I'm going to avoid on the first few ones. I want my first rental property to be super, super simple. Not complex. It's like, hey, it's already clean. I can throw a renter in there just like that. That's what I'm shooting for. I thought 10% was the average. 20%, I don't know. But I don't want to give that up. Because the rent money that comes in is going to go back in the bank to get more rental properties. So this is one of the things. And like tax lien auctions, I'm going to tell you something. I know this about auctions. If you got people here who are putting up junk for $130,000, I can tell you the renter office, those tax sales, they're going to be crazy. All right, I got to go. So we'll be talking about this tomorrow. I'm going to think about it some more. And once again, everyone that signs up for the mentorship program is going to get H undergrad as part of it, plus new content. So we're going to be going hard with this stuff. So with that, I'll see you guys later.